Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So I hope you've all had a good weekend. If you're not watching this live, I'm making this video on Monday, 21st of July, 2025. My name's Vicky Marie. I am British, but I am based in mainland Spain in Europe. It is 9:24 in the morning. Hey, it's Monday again. So, happy Monday. I hope you've all had a brilliant weekend wherever you are in this crazy world. Let me know what you've done at the weekend. It's still so hot here. It's only 22 degrees at the moment. It's supposed to cool down a little bit over the next few days. I hope so, because my brain's not functioning properly. I had a lot of plans of videos I was going to do over the weekend. I did absolutely nothing. I sat and watched a very good series, Untamed. So I spent some time with, what's his name? That Australian guy, the Australian actor, Eric Bana. Very good series. I binge watched that. And then I started watching The Conjuring because of all this talk about the Annabelle doll. And the poor guy, the psychic, who died while he was touring with the Annabelle doll. And I realised I'd never watched the Conjuring series, so I've watched two of them yesterday. Took me ages to get to sleep. Good films, I enjoyed them, but, quite scary, aren't they, that psycho. I think probably the reason I never watched them before is I thought I don't like blood and gore type slasher films, but I do like psychological sort of scary films, and that was, of course, pretty scary psychologically. Anyway, that was my Sunday, really. Very lazy. Hardly moved my backside out of the chair, to be perfectly honest. I did do some other bits and pieces, took the dogs out, that kind of thing. But yeah, nothing too brain taxing. It was so hot yesterday, it was suffocating. So as I say, it's 22 degrees at the moment. Of course, we're in full summer in Spain. We've had temperatures of 40 degrees as the day goes on, which is why I'm not very good later on in the day. But I believe the next couple of days, maybe they're going to be a little bit lower. I certainly hope so. Anyway, there you go. That was my weekend. Nothing spectacular. Watched the football on Saturday night. Of course, the Euros. Was it Saturday night? God, all the days have rolled into one now. Wasn't it Germany versus... It was a very good game. It went right down the line to penalties. It was Germany versus France. I can't believe, but I was actually glad to see Germany win. Yeah, and I think it was a really interesting match. And even, something that appealed to my sense of humour is one of the German players. Her name is Minge, but it's spelled M-I-N-G-E. So that was sort of, I thought, oh my God, that poor woman having to go around with that on her football shirt. But anyway, it's not pronounced like that, like we pronounce it in English. And what it means in English is Minge. Don't forget, it's Minge. So I watched the football. I enjoyed that. So that basically was my weekend. So back to it today. And a very worrying story coming out of my part of the world this morning from the north of England. Saying my part of the world, I mean where I was born. From the north of England, this lady, Rachel Booth, has gone missing. Apparently was out on a jog. She's a mother. There's another photo of her, and I've got a photo of the CCTV somewhere. Let me just show that before we start. So this is the last CCTV of her. She was in a garage supermarket. She apparently bought wine and milk. And she's not been seen since, or has she? I mean, there's been some supposed sightings, but it's all very strange. So she's being searched for at the moment in the Cheshire area. That's what we're going to talk about in this video. I know I've got a lot of viewers from the north of England, and maybe somebody knows something. The police currently, they've got divers out, which is never a good sign, searching this place. Delamere Lake Sailing and Holiday Park. But that's the case that we're going to look at in a moment. So first of all, I want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you to all your lovely messages and all your look that you leave on my channel. Thank you for your emails. I'm not doing very well with emails at the moment for keeping up with them. Sorry about that. It's just the heat. It's mushing my head. Thank you to those of you who are members. Special thank you to my members. Thank you to those of you who buy me Ko-fis, send super stickers, support my channel in any way, shape or form positively. Thank you so much. So I'll take my banner off. I remembered to put it on the blue banner for the blue nails today. I might not always remember that, but I did remember today. Just work out how to take it off. So, hello lovely lurkers, hello replay crew, hello loathsome lurkers. Replay crew, get a kiss. And now I'm going to say hello to those of you in the chat, see how you're all doing. Hey Skits, hey Bluebell, hey Sheep Farming, I hope you're well too. I am getting round to you, I haven't forgotten about you, I can assure you. Oh, is it next week, Bluebell, that you go? Okay, you're looking forward to it. I hope so. And spray painting your XR6, is that a car? You know, I'm not very good with things like that. Oh, good. Light blue. Nice and sunny in Victoria. Sunny and windy. Good. I thought I saw David in there somewhere, but maybe I missed him. No, he's not there yet. I hope he's got a note. Okay, so let's have a look at this case. So, you know, we've been over the years that I've been doing this channel, a lot of missing ladies. Ladies out walking their dogs, out in the park, you know, it's lots of different cases of women jogging, doing, you know, normal things, disappearing. And sometimes, of course, it's been foul play, the reason why they've disappeared. Other times it's been just accidental, something's happened to them that's unclear maybe. You know, if we ever get to that stage, when I cover these people who go missing, it's while that there's a suspicion of foul play or mystery till they're found. Once these people are found, and especially if it's not thought to be to do with anybody else, maybe just unfortunately that person has taken themselves out of this world for whatever reason, because you never know what's going on in people's heads. I think, you know, there's a lot of cases that we've covered. I'm not even going to name them, because when it gets to a point where it feels like that, I think that's what's happened. That's a private thing between them and the family. Family have to get their head around. They can't believe that this person has taken themselves away from them. And sometimes they take themselves away from children as well, which is always difficult, isn't it, to understand. And I think sometimes when people get in that headspace where maybe they don't feel like they're worth anything, or I'm not saying this is what's happened in Rachel's case, because we don't know. I'm just saying it's hard to understand, isn't it, when someone takes them away, especially when there's children involved. But sometimes people just get into a headspace where they think those children would be better off without them. It's very sad. So when somebody goes missing, like Rachel has, there's only a few possible scenarios, really, isn't there? There is accident, and that does happen. It has happened with joggers where they've had accidents and been found safe and well sometimes. Other times, there's one particular jogging incident in the USA. The person was not found for I think it was over a year, and it was always thought there had been foul play, but it turned out hadn't. They had tripped and fallen over and died. So that's a possibility, isn't it? Accident. There's a possibility that there has been foul play, of course, and then there's the possibility, of course, that they might have done something to themselves. I think there's only really 3 possible scenarios, isn't there? That somebody's done something to themselves, somebody else has done something to them, or they've had an accident. What else could it be than those 3 scenarios? And in the early days of an investigation, when somebody goes missing, especially when it's not in their character to go missing, this woman, it seems, was jogging. As I say, as children, we don't have the full information that the police have. We don't know if there were messages or, we just don't know, messages to the family, etc. We had an incident on the street in my village many years ago. I hadn't been living in this house that very long, only a couple of years. And a friend of my neighbour's, who I also knew, had just gone missing. He went missing. He said he shared nobody knew that he had any depression or ideation that way. Just disappeared one night. Said to the guy he was sharing the house with, "Oh, I'm going for a drive around, early hours of the morning." Never came back home, but he sent some messages from his mobile phone, just telling people from his family, his friends, that he loved them. Don't ever change. He said to one of the friends he sent a message to, "Don't ever change." He sent a message to his mum. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit emotional now because it was very sad. Sent a message to his mum, who lived in the north of Spain. She came down immediately, travelled down immediately. Left these messages and he disappeared. Anyway, it turned out he was found eventually. He'd thrown himself off it's hard to explain what it is, because it was almost like a reservoir dam type place. He'd sort of climbed to the highest point and thrown himself off. Young man, early 20s. He was a father. He was separated from his partner, but he had a young child. Maybe that was part of it. Maybe he thought he wasn't going to get to see the child enough. I don't know. The thing is, you just don't know, do you? But the thing is, nobody knew anything. Sometimes these things happen completely out of the blue. It's not always someone who's been depressed for a long time, or maybe made attempts before, or, talked about it. I've known of several cases here in Spain, even apart from the case of my ex-partner, but he was a different case. He had talked about it a lot. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. But what I'm trying to say is, often you just don't know, do you, people? And then people sometimes are just spontaneously. I'm not saying that's what's happened to Rachel. I don't know what's happened to Rachel. But what I'm trying to say is, we haven't got all the information that maybe the police might have, maybe the family might have. But it's very concerning when a woman, a mother especially, just disappears when seemingly out jogging. Hi, Fifi. Yeah. So let's have a look at this lady. This is all happened in Cheshire in the UK, which this was the last sighting of her. quite often the last sightings are in a petrol station, aren't they? She'd obviously gone in. Apparently she bought milk and wine. Now, quite often people, if they are going to do something to themselves, they buy alcohol. The thought of it, the fact that she's bought milk, you're not going to buy milk, are you? If surely that's something that you're intending to take home with you, That was the last sighting of her. This is the lady, Rachel Booth. Very beautiful lady. This is where it's happened. So Cheshire, as I say, is in the north. I know this area so very well. Now, the police are currently searching this Delamere water park place, and they're searching the water. They've closed it so that they can search the water. Now, why they're doing that, I don't know, because it's a little way from. So this is the garage where her last sighting was. The Sandiway garage. She was seen on CCTV at 3:50 a.m. on Saturday. So it's very early hours of the morning, isn't it, to be going out jogging? But not unheard of. I don't think it's light then, though, is it? In the UK at 3:50 a.m. wouldn't be light. It would be dark, surely. And this is where they're searching. They seem to think she's ended up over there. Now, how they know that, I don't know. Is it from her phone? Because apparently she had a phone with her. So why are they searching that area? There'll be a reason for it, isn't there? Okay, so let's have a look at the article that I'm going to show you, which is the Daily Mail. Hang on. So she's a mother of 3. Very, very sad. But anyway, we don't know yet that anything terrible has happened to this lady. We can hope that she will get found. I don't know why the Mail always jumps around a bit. I'm trying. I'm going to look at the photos in a moment. So, mystery surrounds the disappearance of a mother of 3 who was last seen buying wine and milk at a petrol station in the early hours of the morning. Rachel Booth, 38, was reported missing on Saturday, July the 19th, after she was last seen by her family in the village of Barnton near Northwich, Cheshire. And Cheshire Constabulary has released CCTV of her last sighting, which shows her walking around the Sandiway garage, then along the A556 west of Northwich in exercise gear at 3:50 on Saturday. She was seen wearing black leggings, a black vest and trainers. At the time she vanished with a phone visible on her outer thigh, suggesting she was out on a run. And specially trained search and rescue teams today, that was yesterday, scoured Delamere Lake Sailing and Holiday Park and Wildshore Water Sports Centre, Cheshire, around 1.5 miles from her last known sighting. In a frantic bid to find Rachel. And police believe she may have travelled to the village of Oakmere. Now, you can't help but wonder, why do they believe that? They've got reasons, obviously, for believing that. While underwater search teams have also been deployed to the sailing lake. And Isaac Carolan, 19, who works at the Sandiway garage, has revealed Rachel's final purchase before she vanished. You just never know what's going on in people's heads, do you? They're smiling pictures on their social media. You just don't know. Now, she is dressed for jogging. You can see that. She brought milk and wine, and then what happened to her after that? So this is the area that we're talking about. You've got Manchester, Liverpool, Northwich. This is all the Cheshire area. Now you can see the Sandiway garage where she's last seen at 3:50. It's quite a long way from Oakmere and Wildshaw, Delamere, really, isn't it? Is she supposed to have walked there? She can't have walked there. And then the police are out with their dogs. Anyway, the guy from the garage told her son, I spoke to my colleague who'd served her on Saturday morning. She bought milk and wine and jogged from 45 minutes away. But it didn't seem weird. She didn't seem disturbed or flustered. So I suppose if you're jogging, you can cover quite a good distance. But that seems like a very big distance to me. Another shopkeeper at a Premier store in Barnton, where Rachel lives, described her as a lovely, clever lady who always comes in for parcels. They said she's very active and very nice, adding we all like her. Under the police appeal, 2 friends have claimed they may have spotted Rachel, described as being 5'9" tall, very tall, of a slim build and with blonde hair, attempting to hitchhike hours after her last sighting. So when they say 2 friends, they don't mean 2 friends of Rachel's, they mean 2 people who are friends. And I don't know, but the problem with eyewitnesses, sometimes they can lead the police on a wild goose chase, can't they? Did they really see her hitchhiking? Is that a distraction for the police? They said it does look like the same lady that was hitching a lift, except the lady we saw, had a yellow jacket or cardigan on. It's not her, is it? Surely not. Anyway, the potential witness said this was around the Church Minshall area, some 8 minutes from the petrol station. I'll have a look for that article from the Sun. Between 12:30 and 11:15 on Saturday, hours after her last official sighting. A separate witness also claimed they may have seen her passing a farm shop at Minshall and walking towards Crewe. Now, the thing is that we're at the stage now where the police are asking for any information, aren't they? And unfortunately, they do get a lot of false information as well. But they're at a stage where, this initial stage where they're looking for her, any information is better than no information, isn't it? Because they're just desperate to find her. After she's found, one way or another, then it'll go to, don't talk about it, won't it? That's just how it is, isn't it? In the initial stages, it's always asking, appealing for information. And then, depending on the circumstances, of course, that someone's found. But normally, regardless of the circumstances, if someone's found and something unfortunately has happened to them and they're found deceased, or if they're found safe and well, normally it's please respect the family's privacy at this time. So we're at this stage where the police want information, the family want information. And they want it to be broadcast, if you like, because they want Rachel to be found. But there will come a time, whatever the outcome is, which hopefully will be a positive outcome. I mean, it's not, if she was out jogging, she could have tripped and fallen somewhere, couldn't she? I don't think that's beyond the realms of possibility. That she may still be, alive, but just she's had an accident somewhere. The other thing is, the other thing about this hitchhiking and that I can't see that can be true, is because surely she had a car, because if she went into the garage and bought milk and wine, she's not going to be carrying that around while she's jogging, is she? So she's put that in her car or put it somewhere. Maybe she went home and took the milk and wine home before she went out again jogging. I don't know, but seems strange to think that she would be hitchhiking. But who knows? So, I mean, of course, it could have been that she twisted her ankle and she hitchhiked back home. You know, we just don't know enough. All we know is she's missing. So the nearby water park, Wildshore Delamere, has been shut down temporarily. The company says it is closed due to ongoing police investigations in the surrounding area, but insists the incident is unrelated to them. And Rachel's mother, Chrissy, shared the police's appeal to find her daughter along with friends and members of the public. Bless. So, well, she's got to be somewhere. As we know, people don't disappear into thin air. I hope nothing bad has befallen her. No foul play has befallen her. And I think it is still within the realms of possibility that she could have had an accident and be okay somewhere, just waiting to be rescued. So the guy from the garage said it didn't seem weird. She didn't seem disturbed or flustered. But unfortunately, people don't, do they? It's amazing what people can hide inside. So this is where they're looking for her. A lot of water, as you can see. You know, I think it's always quite scary when you can see water, isn't it? Around like that. The dogs. Well, they will find her. And there's the petrol station. It looks quite sort of isolated, doesn't it? There's the water sports and aqua park. And this is the update. Due to ongoing police investigations in the surrounding area, Wildshore Delamere will remain closed tomorrow, Sunday, July the 20th. We sincerely apologise for any inconvenience this may cause. The incident is unrelated to Wildshore, however, we wish to help as much as possible, so we will be closing the site until further notice. If your booking is affected by this closure, please contact our customer services team. We'll be happy to arrange a refund or reschedule your session for a later date. Yeah, so it's a big expanse of water. Anyway, one man who grew up around the corner from her posted, she is honestly one of the nicest people you could meet. Another described her as a mother of three with three gorgeous boys and a loving husband. And a Cheshire beauty salon also posted photos of Rachel, saying she's a client of theirs. And Liz Almond Aesthetics, an aesthetics practitioner at Beyond Beauty Group in Northwich, said, "This lady is a client of ours. Share as much as you can and get her home safe." Inspector James Wilson of Cheshire Constabulary said, "We are currently following a number of enquiries to trace Rachel, and we're becoming increasingly concerned for her welfare." Yeah, because each day that passes, of course, it does get more concerning. But she's not been missing long enough. Like if she had had an accident, she could still be okay. It's only been a couple of days. So we're conducting enquiries at the Oakmere and surrounding areas where it's believed Rachel travelled to. And we'd like to thank local businesses for their patience and understanding while those are currently ongoing. Investigators are following all lines of inquiry, and anyone who has seen Rachel since she was reported missing is asked to contact us. And then, of course, it gives you ring 101 or go through to Cheshire Police. There's the reference number, IML 213-6439. Let's just have a look. Let's see. Have a look at the Cheshire Police Well, that's driving me mad, that site. Cheshire Police, see what's on their website. Yeah, so she's like, you know, on there. So officers continue to appeal for information. So the early hours of Saturday the 19th of July, after being seen by family in the Barnton area of Northwich. Wonder why she was out at that early time in the morning. As they say, she was dressed for jogging. Hi, Darren. She was dressed for jogging. And people do go jogging early hours of the morning, of course, don't they? It's cooler then. It's not so many people around. Yeah, wonder why she would have travelled to the Oakmere area of Delamere. They must have traced her phone to there to think that. Why else would they think she was there? Oh, yeah. Most definitely dressed for jogging or for sport of some kind. And she bought wine and milk. I would suggest that somebody who buys milk has every intention of going home again. You know, if you bought alcohol, I know that quite often happens with people who decide to unalive themselves or go and buy some alcohol, you know, to give them some sort of courage, I suppose, to do it or to dissociate themselves. But I think if she's bought milk, she had every intention of going home. That's just the impression I get. What do you think? Let me know what you think. Let's have a look at the sun. Yeah. So they're talking about this mysterious new sighting. I don't think that I just don't think that can have been her. Whoever it was that was. Let's have a look at the video. Where are you, Rachel? I hope she's okay. It always jumps onto another video. Let's have a look at GB News. Not that I can't bear GB News normally, but just see if it's got any different information. Got Peter Blexley on here.
La revolución digital ha cambiado las reglas del juego. Nos exige ser más eficientes.
Police are on the hunt for a missing woman who was last seen in the early hours of Saturday morning at a petrol station in her running gear.
Yes, Rachel Booth, who is 38 years old, was reported missing on Saturday after last being seen in the Northwich area in Cheshire at about 3:50 a.m.
Well, detectives say they're increasingly concerned about her disappearance and are continuing to conduct searches in the area.
Well, we're joined now by former Scotland Yard detective Peter Blexley, and this is a very strange case, isn't it, Peter?
Yes, it is, and clearly Rachel Booth's behaviour must have been out of character for the police to have launched such a significant operation to try and find her, and of course to go public with that. What we do know, or what it's being reported certainly in the Sun today, although not yet confirmed by police, is that Rachel apparently bought milk and wine on this visit to the petrol station at 10 to 4 on Saturday morning. Other than that, we know that she's a mother of 3 young children.
Yeah, I agree with you, Bluebell. That was the first thing I thought of. Do you remember Victoria Taylor, who sadly, it seems, did unalive herself, which is terrible because she had a little girl, you know, and all her Facebook, you know, she just looked so happy with her little girl and everything. This is what I mean. You just don't know what's going through people's heads. Now, she went to a petrol station and she came out, didn't she, with like a Marks and Spencer bag. She was carrying all that stuff. And it's, you know, the police have never released, but I think it was probably alcohol and that. You know, what else would she be buying off? She went to the river and she was very sadly found deceased. And this reminded me of that when they said she bought wine, but it's the milk. Why would she buy milk? But then, of course, Victoria Taylor apparently bought soft drinks as well. You know, I don't know if they were mixers to go with her alcohol. Who knows? You know, we can't really until the inquest. You know, I suppose it will come out at the inquest for Victoria if there's not already been an inquest. I mean, I stopped covering that once Victoria was found. Her family asked for privacy. You know. And that's it. But it is mystifying sometimes why people do things. I'm not saying that's what we don't know that Rachel's done that. Still, to me, if somebody buys milk, they're intending to go home. Now, she may have bought wine. Don't forget, it was a Saturday morning, early Saturday morning. She might have bought a bottle of wine because she's going to watch the football later on, the Lionesses. That's what I probably did on Saturday morning. I can't remember exactly. But, you know, I sat and watched the Lionesses with some wine and that. You know, that's what you do on a Saturday night. If you're not going out, you might buy a bottle of wine in or a few beers or whatever. So it doesn't surprise me that she bought that. To me, it's like if she bought milk at 3:50 a.m., surely she was going home with that milk or intending to go home with that milk. So it's worrying, isn't it? A woman out jogging at 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, are the predators around? That's the other thing. So as I say, there are 3 possibilities. One is she's done something to herself. 2 is somebody has done something to her. And 3, that she's simply had an accident and she could be just waiting to be rescued. That's the one I'm going to stick with in my head. I'm sure that's what her family are hoping for. That she could have fought, she could have broken her leg, or you know, anything could have happened. And why she hasn't phoned for help, who knows? But we just don't know, do we? So we've just got to hope that this lady is safe and well somewhere and just waiting to be discovered. And as Peter said then, I'm going to carry on watching that in a minute. The police do have to be very concerned about her, because for them to, you know, go to all these lengths, it seems it is out of character for her to disappear. You know, reminds me a little bit of the Rachel Marine case. I hope it doesn't end up the same as that. But, you know, when your loved one, when they're an adult, you know, be it your other half or your mum or your daughter, sister, whatever, when they sort of go out like Samantha Murphy, of course, and others. When do you start worrying? You know, because they go out, and Nicola Bulley as well. You know, they go out, take the dog for a walk, go for a run, go for a walk, or whatever they go out to do. Now, maybe they're normally out for an hour. So then the hour goes, you know, what happened? Then you think, now, I don't know if she, you know, I don't know her family circumstances. So does she live with her partner? Does she live? I mean, she's got children, so presumably somebody else was looking after the children while she went out jogging or whatever she went to do. She wouldn't leave them on their own, I would presume. So they may not have even been awake. She might have woke up, couldn't sleep, decided to go for a run. You know, lots of people do that. Or just decided to go and get the milk and everything then, you know, rather than later when it gets busy on a Saturday. You know, there's a million different possibilities, isn't there, really? So then what happens? Was anybody, you know, is it when people woke up and thought, where is she? You know, or were they awake as well? And then how long do you think? Because first of all, you'd wake up and you think, oh, Rachel's not here, but maybe she commonly went running early in the morning. You think, oh, she'd be out on a run. You'd look to see if her car keys were there or if she had her phone with her or, you know, all those things. And you think, oh, maybe she's just gone, you know, and then an hour had passed and you think, oh, why is she not? You know, when do you decide to ring the police? You know, it's like any of your loved ones, like, you know, when's the time that you think, no, this is wrong, you know, they should have been back by now? Very difficult, isn't it? You know, because at the end of the day, she's a grown woman, and if she wants to go out running at 4 o'clock in the morning, she can. And maybe she did that commonly, but she certainly didn't disappear. It was out of character for her to be gone for a long time. That's why there's all this. That's what Peter Blexley's trying to say. That's why, because it's obviously out of character for her. She wasn't someone who would disappear for days at a time on a regular. You know, this is unusual.
And there are many people who have come forward to say how popular she was. Rachel is 5'9", so taller than average, blonde, and yes, last seen in her running gear early hours of Saturday morning.
What are the options here for police, Peter? I mean, is this about witness sightings and CCTV, essentially?
Yes, it is, although this part of Cheshire is fairly remote. In fact, nearby Delamere Water Park was searched yesterday, and that is closed today and Tuesday. We've already seen that dogs have been deployed and other resources, but I would expect today on Monday morning that there will be a raising of the amount of sources deployed. I expect that perhaps there will be assistance from outside forces, specialist search teams, aerial assets like drones, for example, and possibly the helicopter. And I would also expect there to be a press conference from Cheshire Police sometime this morning.
And the fact that Cheshire Police have gone so public with this, Peter, I mean, they are obviously hoping that somebody out there has information that would be helpful.
Yes, based on the fact that this is clearly out of line with Miss Booth's usual behaviour. That will have caused the real concerns here. This is very out of character. It's not her usual kind of behaviour, and I strongly suspect she's never gone missing in this kind of way before. Of course, Cheshire Police will be on red alert with regards to the handling of the information, because what they won't want is another tragic case from January 2023, which was the case of Nicola Bulley, which had a tragic ending. I'm sure they will be trying all they can to communicate properly, effectively, clearly, and stop rampant.
Yeah, these cases, they always bring us back to the Nicola Bulley case, don't they? They're, you know, anything like this, we saw it with Gaynor Lord, with Victoria Taylor. Remember as well the two twins who went missing in Scotland, you know, who turns out there's no well, I say no suspicious circumstances. The police weren't looking for anyone else. It looks like it was a double self-deletion. But these cases always remind us of the Nicola Bulley case, don't they? You know, a young woman just out doing something normal. I think the reason these cases, I mean, obviously she does, Rachel is blonde, you know, it's that missing blonde white woman syndrome thing. But I think as much as that, it's the mystery of somebody doing something so normal, you know, just out having a jog. And now I know it was early in the morning and a lot of people would think that's too early maybe. But, you know, people should be able to do that if they want to. You know, a man would do that, wouldn't he? A man would go out and do that, wouldn't even think that anything might happen to him. Why shouldn't a woman do it? But the thing is, whatever, she was out there at the petrol station, where she went after that, she's in her jogging gear, you know. I think the thing about the cases like Samantha Murphy, Nicola Bulley, Gaynor Lord, etc., Victoria Taylor, they gain attention because it's somebody out there doing something so normal, walking their dog. Anita Rose was another one recently where the guy's just been, I mean, that unfortunately ended in tragedy. You know, somebody just taking she was taking her dog Bruce for a walk early in the morning, like she did every morning, like she should be able to do. She'd done it for years. And that morning, unfortunately, there was evil waiting for her. You know, evil stalking her, following her, and eventually killed her. You know, you should be able to do it. It makes me so mad because you should be able to go out at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 6 in the morning, whatever time you want, walk your dog, go for a run or whatever. You should be able to. I know you can't necessarily, well, you can, but you're always taking that chance. But you should be able to. It makes me so angry. But anyway, so that's the time she was last seen. So whether she was on her way going for a run, coming back from a run, you know, whatever she was doing, she was dressed for walking, running or whatever. We don't know the circumstances. But to me, the fact that she bought milk suggests to me she was planning on going back home, at least after that sighting. Now, don't forget, that's the last time she was sighted on CCTV. That does not mean that she won't be found. Won't be more CCTV found from her, maybe later in the day. You know, that is all the police have got at the moment. That doesn't mean to say that she didn't go. I mean, where is that milk that she bought? If it's true that she bought it, because that's the Sun that's saying that. You know, it's not police verified. So I want to make that clear. You know, it's not what the police said, but hopefully this morning, as Peter said there will be a police conference sometime today. I will bring it to you, of course.
Speculation such as we saw a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we don't want those armchair detectives or internet detectives to be getting stuck into this, do we?
No, most definitely not. And I'm sure that's why Delamere...
Do you know what? We don't want those armchair detectives getting stuck into this. You're straight on it, though, aren't you, GB News? You're straight on it. Right into it. But it's okay for you to talk about it, is it? God, it makes me so angry. As if, you know, like social media has helped to actually solve cases, you know. And, oh, God, it makes you so angry. It's like they're so prissy, aren't they? Mainstream media. Oh, we don't want those armchair detectives getting stuck into it. Do it. Only us. Only we're allowed to spread speculation. Only us, but not the social media.
Waterpark have been very clear that they are closed today and tomorrow. They most definitely do not want members of the public trying to get in there and doing their own investigations. And I would support them in that. And I'm sure Cheshire Police, who will be saying, do not come here, do not get involved. You will not be, you will be getting in the way, in essence. But if you have any information, if you think you've seen Rachel between 10 to 4 on Saturday morning and today, then please pick up the phone and report that to Cheshire Police immediately.
So there's GB News thinking they're better than everybody else. Then there they are speculating straight away. Just, they just don't see the irony, do they? GB News is not even a proper mainstream media. They're no better than social media. They're nothing different from social media. In fact, they're worse because they talk a load of crap. I never watch GB News ever because they're just so one-sided with everything they talk about. They spread hate and division. They speculate. I just happened to find that by accident there when I was looking. I wish I hadn't gone on it now. But, that's just typical of him, isn't it? Oh, yes, we don't want these armchair detectives getting into this. I know exactly. Claire, they are social media, for God's sake. Crazy. They've got an inflated idea of their own importance, haven't they, really, at the end of the day? So, yeah. So, let's have a look at Sky News. At least they are mainstream media, more or less. Oh, God. Bloody cheek of it. Yeah, underwater teams joining the search for a missing woman last seen at the petrol station. That's worrying, isn't it? Why do they think she might be in the water? That is so worrying. It's so sad. I hope it has a happy ending. I hope, it doesn't have the... it's funny because then the more that you cover these kind of cases, what I've found is I can see why the police, especially with young men, who go missing, who are quite, at the end of the day, the police deal with cases all the time. They do get an instinct for what's happened. They're not always right. Don't get me wrong. They're not always right. But there's I think you've got to be careful, I suppose, because if you see, I suppose what happens with the police, they get a few cases of young lads going missing near rivers and they're found in the river. So then they start to think that that's always going to happen. But, of course, you should never assume, should you? So their job also is to take each case independently. But it's difficult sometimes because they must get this sinking feeling. When somebody goes missing, depending on the circumstances of where they've gone missing, and also, of course, they always have a full story more than we do. We only can, I can only show you the information that's been released by the police, really. There'll be more information that they'll know that they're not releasing because they don't know what sort of a case they're going to be looking at. Because with Rachel, she could be found safe and well. Hopefully she will be. She could be found sadly deceased, and then there will be an investigation. So they can't compromise any possible investigation for the future, can they? By releasing everything that they know. And you can understand that, really. And I'm thinking, if it was my loved one, what I would want, because you always want to be respectful to the person and the family. So I think that's how you would feel in the beginning. You would want, while you don't know what's happened to your loved one, you would want as much information out there as possible because, and you would want tips from people and you would want people sharing and, thinking back, checking their dash cam, to see if somebody will have seen her. I mean, wherever she's gone. She'll be on some sort of in this world that we live in now, there'll be dash cam, CCTV, more than this. But so in the beginning, yeah, you would want everybody to know about it because you want her to be found. And then, of course, when she's found, hopefully safe and well, but if not, depending on the circumstances or maybe regardless of the circumstances, you would want the privacy then, wouldn't you? So, all we can do, we just have to hope that, it's a good ending. Now, she does look very fit and agile, Sean, and she's tall. She's only not that far short of 6 foot tall. She was 5'9", which is, I wish I was 5'9". Maybe not 5'9", but I wish I was 5'6", 7. Yeah, she does. She does look like she could look after herself. But do you know what? Trouble is, we just don't know, do we? We don't know what's happened. She's disappeared one way or another. And if anybody knows anything, I know, as I say, I have quite a few viewers in that area. Cheshire, this is. Not from. It's a lovely area. It's quite a remote area. It's probably about as safe an area as you could imagine in that sort of area. I mean, I wouldn't imagine it's a place. But, you know, you've only got to get one person going past in a car, sees her jogging along the road or whatever. I don't know. I mean, if she normally went jogging, where did she go jogging? Is that why they think she's at the lake place? Is that where she normally went jogging? I can't believe that she would hitchhike there. You know, I just don't believe that. I think those people who thought they might have seen her while she was hitchhiking, but in a yellow cardigan, I just don't believe that. I don't believe that's a genuine sighting. She hasn't got a yellow cardigan on, has she? So let me know what you think anyway. I'll just have another look, see if there's anything else. Sometime I haven't looked on Twitch actually. Not Twitch, Twitter. Let's have a look on X, see if I can find anything. So, as Peter said, I think there's likely to be a police conference this morning at some point. Here's some more images of her. Let's see. So more images of Rachel Booth, Rachel Langley. So she's got, sounds like there's two. Some more images of her. Yeah, I don't want to watch you again. So, described last year by her husband as the glue that holds their family together. I do hope she's safe. She has 3 sons that need her. So this is a post. Happy birthday to the best from last year. Happy birthday to the best wife and even better mum. You're the glue that holds our family together. We would be lost without you. We all love you so much. Oh, bless. Bless. All right. Oh, this is good. So these are all the different CCTVs around the area. No shortage of CCTV cameras at Sandiway garage where Rachel Booth was last seen buying milk and wine. We've only seen footage from inside, so there'll be plenty more, yeah. Oh, look, that's my post. So, search enters the 3rd day. It's believed a mum sighted Rachel Booth walking past her house 5 minutes later. I'm sure it's her that walked past my house at 3:55. I have a video. Yeah, well, yeah, that probably was her, but I don't think seeing somebody hitchhiking would be her. The mirror chilling clues emerge. What chilling clues? Yeah, so everyone seems to be saying how out of character it is. Let's just have a look at her. Oh, I thought she might have a Twitter account herself. So look at the mirror, the chilling clues. Oh, this is the mainstream media. You know, they're the ones with the clickbaits, the chilling clues. What are the chilling clues? Probably that she bought milk and wine or something. What are the chilling clues? It's just not even, I can't even be bothered reading that, to be honest. Let's go back to that. Yeah, so that's where we are. I think that's interesting. Let's go back to that. This is somebody I follow on Twitter, and they follow me with Justice for Nicola Bulley and others. No shortage of... That's interesting, isn't it, to see all these CCTV cameras. So there's definitely more CCTV out there. Now, we know from other cases that's exactly what the police do. They drip feed CCTV, don't they? They show us a little bit of CCTV, and then later they show us a little bit more, and then a little bit more, etc. You know, they never give us all the information to start with, and, you know, maybe that's the right thing. But my hair's blowing in. It's not the wind. That's my fan blowing my hair everywhere. The windswept look this morning. Yeah, don't speculate. So that's where we are with this lovely girl. I hope, you know, for her family, for her partner, for her kids, for her mum, for the rest of her family. Just hope she's okay somewhere. She could be. She could be okay somewhere, of course. Let's see. Just seeing if I can find anything else. I've got to go in a minute because I've got some Spanish classes, but I will be back later on today. And if, of course, if there is any information in the meantime, I will get back on as soon as I can in between classes. Let you know any updates. But yeah, it just seems so often that we're here talking about these kind of cases, isn't it? You know, very sad. Anyway, we've got to be positive. We don't know yet what's happened. I agree, David. That's what I was saying. If she's bought milk, surely she was intending to go home. You don't buy milk and not, you know, if you're off to unalive yourself, do you? You know, she was probably buying milk for the morning coffees or the cereals. So that's, I don't know if that's a good sign or bad. You know, she was intending to go home. Has she had an accident? You know, has she fallen and hurt herself and she's just waiting to be rescued? That's a possibility, surely. Surely that's a possibility. I'm just looking for any more information I can find. I need to look a bit more into it. Things will come out as the day goes on. You know, the police will probably come out with some more CCTV as the day goes on. So yeah, that's the last CCTV they've shown us so far. I don't know if you remember, but with Victoria Taylor, that's exactly what they did then. The police, they released the CCTV of Victoria in the garage petrol station buying whatever she was buying. And then it was a while before they released any further CCTV. You know, there was other CCTV of her walking down the road holding the carrier bag. But the police drip fed it, and that's what they'll do here as well. Hopefully, Rachel will get found quickly and they won't have to do that. But as time goes on and Rachel is still not found, that's what the police will do. So, yeah, it's hard to stay positive, isn't it, David? You know, just from the experience that we have of covering these disappearances. But do you know what? You never know, do you? You never know. She may be okay somewhere. She may have fallen, waiting to be rescued. Sometimes it does happen. I know I'm just looking on the bright side. You have to, I think, for her and her family. Hi, Joanne. Late to the party, I'm afraid. I've got to go now. But listen, thanks for watching. I hope you'll watch from the beginning. So anybody who knows anything about that area or anything that may, you know, the police may help the police, you know, obviously as long as it's a genuine sighting. What I would say to anybody who is watching, I mean, it was early in the morning, so probably not that many cars out and about at that time. But if you were out and about and you've got a dash cam, you know, or anything like that, just have a little look at it. Just see if you saw. I don't know where she jogged. Would she have been jogging at the side of the road? Oh, so I just want to have a bit of waffle now. So the other night, when my son finished work, and I went to pick him up. Now, one of the places where he's working at the moment, it literally is a 5-minute drive away. It's so close. I mean, he could really walk it probably, but it's so dangerous. It's a really, there's no lighting along the road. This tiny little pavements on either side, and because it's a road that's like not used much, cars just speed down there. Honestly, I hate going at night to pick him up because the cars are so dangerous. They're overtaking. Just it's a sort of road that there are a lot of accidents. That seems like every week there's a terrible accident there. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I hadn't seen his message say he was ready. And then he sent me another message and said, oh, I'm going to start walking, so watch out for me. So he's dressed all in black, as always, you know, for work. But he's got his phone. He's got like the light from his phone, you know, the torch from his phone. So I'm thinking, oh, my God, I hope he's all right. The cars go past so fast. Anyway, I set off to get him. And as I say, it's literally a 5-minute drive. So as I'm coming up, I could see him in the distance. I could see his torch, his phone like flickering. And when I slowed down, I put my bloody indicators on, which is unusual for me. But I did put my indicators on, but I forgot I should have put my hazard warning lights on. Oh my God, all the cars behind me, they're beeping me, they're whizzing past me, overtaking me, gesturing to me, because I hadn't seen that. I was stopping to pick somebody up. You know, it's like, it was horrible. It was terrifying, you know, because they're just driving so fast. So I said, oh, please don't do that again. Because literally he could walk. It wouldn't take him long to walk. You know, he's got long legs. He's tall. But that's what's making me think about this. I mean, I don't know where Rachel did her jogging. You know, you think if she was jogging along the side, was she jogging along the side of the road? And, you know, can be accidents happen, can't they, and things. But anyway, it's another possibility. But the possibility I'm trying to think of and stick to is that maybe she fell, she's hurt herself, the police will find her. Maybe she's still okay. So let's hope so. Okay, I've really got to go now. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, especially if you want updates on this case and any others that we're covering. And don't forget to press notifications, the notification bell, all notifications if you want to be sure of getting your notifications. Anyway, I'll be back very soon in the next video, and until then we're going to say some prayers. I'm going to go now and say some prayers for Rachel, that she's found safe for her family's sake, and I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, as always, may your God go with you. Bye.